A very good morning to you, Nigerians, and many thanks for joining us on U45 Morning Show, a program that brings you up to speed with happening in and around Nigeria and, of course, the world at large. I'm Adike Owoye Ajiboye.
Good morning, Nigerians. It's the 22nd day of November. Trust you have a wonderful night rest. I am Osage Solomon.
It's beautiful to have you join us today once again. Welcome. I am Shegun Dinola DM.
Without much ado, you know how we have to drive your day on U45 Morning Show. Yesterday, we will be looking at DSS flouting court orders. This is one too many. We are aware of cases delivered in the case of hip-hop leader Nnamdi Kanu. We're also aware, of course, the recent being that of the former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele and a host of others. What is the implication of this? I mean, on a verdict delivered at the court, does this not negate or impede on the potency of court ruling? We'll look at this, and of course we'll also look at the dailies. What are the dailies saying? And after which we will also bring to you hashtags and trends. What is happening all over the world? You need to be aware. These and many more we will be looking at this Wednesday edition of U45 Morning Show. So sit back, relax, fasten your belt as we make your day a beautiful one. We'll take a short break here and we'll be right back with a newspaper review. So glad to have you back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. So right now, let us go into our paper review. The first paper we'll be looking at is the Nigerian Tribune. And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, the major headline reads, "Insecurity, service chiefs blame judiciary for freeing suspects." The writer reads, expose how warders collude with Boko Haram suspects, express concern over activities of Simon Ekpa in Southeast. Another writer reads, call for special courts to prosecute insurgents. And the last writer there reads, I inherited a battered police force. This is according to the IGP, gentlemen. This is a major matter on our hands as a nation. Insecurity, the battle for the nation Nigeria to be safe seems to be a very big challenge for the government of Nigeria. And you see the headline here saying that the service chiefs blame judiciary for freeing suspects. What's your take, Shegun?
Like I always say, you see, in this country, everyone knows what to do. We all know the right thing to do. But because of some elements in place, a set of people are benefiting from one or two things, right? So they tend not to persecute whom they should persecute, because if they do that, so many secrets will be exposed. So they have to try to cover their tracks. So basically, that's just the problem, covering of tracks. That's what's leading to all of this Boko Haram. Nobody wants to be exposed. Nobody wants to be exposed, if you ask me.
Well, I think it's just a reflection of the state of our judicial system. We have a judiciary that we cannot vouch for. the inconsistency. Sherry is part of the repercussion and the boomerang that was seen in our corrupt society today. So it's quite unfortunate. I mean, we have the judiciary, not sticking to the rule of law and democracy, and it's reflecting. It's one of the major causes of our insurgency that we're having all over the nation today.
Well, if you say that the judiciary, well, I don't think they cannot be absorbed actually from the matter at hand, because if you look at the writer here, it says expose how warders collude with Boko Haram suspects. And this is what we've been talking about. It is another thing for a judgment to be delivered in a particular case at the court. There is another thing happens in the prison. You understand? I have not also forgotten how Kuje prison was broken into. You remember the prison break at Kuje? Up until now, I'm not sure we have been able to get those criminals who were on the run. And so it's very difficult for us to be saying that the nation is safe when a high number of people actually escape. How did you do it to the extent where Boko Haram were able to penetrate the prison? So truly, just like during the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's tenure, you remember the wife also saying that there's a kind of a penetration in the government. Yeah. So it's gradually looking like there is a form of cooperation somewhere where the security of Nigeria has been penetrated by Boko Haram insurgents. Because how do you explain, how were they able to plan to that extent where they broke into the prison?
Yesterday, the former President Buhari, he said that his government was hijacked. Yeah. And we're talking about Boko Haram.
Take for instance, sorry to cut you, take for instance, the Zamfara State Governor, former Zamfara State Governor, the present commissioner, saying accusing him of funding terror. So I mean,
he's also the defense minister of Nigeria.
What are we saying?
Well, I think it all boils down to the political will of the government of the day at ensuring that insecurity is nip in the bud. Another headlines to stay with the Nigerian Tribune reads, PDP lost a local government poll in Ogun because I rejected plots to bribe police. INEC. This is according to Obasanjo. Obasanjo has been making headline of recent. Remember, he talked about democracy in Nigeria, saying that Nigeria should not be practicing democracy. And of course, the presidency has also, reacted to that. You find a story on page 8. Another headlines on the Nigerian Tribune reads, Nigeria targets $10 billion ship charter market as Oyetola meets marine and blue economy stakeholders. That story you find on page 6. Following that directly, reps approve $73.96 as oil benchmark for 2024 fiscal year. You'll find that story on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Following that directly is Lagos government didn't finance Sanwo-Olu's legal battle. This is according to Commissioner. That story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Solomon, we also were the candidate of the Labour Party, Gbadebo Road Survivor, coming out to say that he has proof to show that the governor of Lagos State, the legal battle and his election was being sponsored by the Lagos State government money.
Yeah, and in fact, the Lagos State government have been on the news throughout the week, talking about how their billion naira funding of the government house, the office of the deputy, and all of that. You see, and which they actually denied yesterday. A representative from the Lagos State government denied all of these allegations. You see, it's quite. We were talking about leadership, Shegun, and we see that our leaders do not prioritize the people. We've talked about it many times. Leadership is all about empathy. Now, the government is telling Nigerians to bear the situation in the country. but look at the sporadic spending that is going on at the government house, which they denied. It's quite unfortunate that this is coming from Lagos State government and Abia State also.
Well, of course, in the usual way, the Lagos State government has also debunked that, saying it is not the resources of the Lagos State government that was used for the election. I've not also forgotten, you remember, when former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, when he was trying to, get his mandate during the election between him and Olagusoye Oyekola then, I remember that it was Lagos State funds that was used for him to pursue that case, and eventually he got his mandate and become the governor of Osun State. Well, I think this is Nigeria, where a different drama is always playing out.
I'm pretty sure when another political party rules Lagos State, so many things will be brought to light.
Absolutely.
So many things will be exposed. So,
all right, this is all we'll take on the Nigerian Tribune.
Now to the Daily Trust. The main headline says, confusion over contradictions in CTC of appeal court's judgment sacking Kano governor. And the writer says, it's typographical error. Can you imagine? Gawana's counsel, an APC chieftain. Another writer says, only Supreme Court will interpret it, says Governor Yusuf's lawyer. Now you find that on page 5 of the Daily Trust. So you see, this is what we're talking about, our judicial system. So many, contractions and contradictions here and here. Another story says, reps indict MPA, NNPC, NBET, and others over 14 trillion naira contingent liabilities. Page 4 of the Daily Trust. Osun governor spends 2 billion naira on meals, welfare, runs office with 6 billion naira in 3 months. We were just talking about it.
The way they mention these monies sounds like they're mentioning naira and kobo. Look, this is huge. How many millions for meals? What are you eating? With government fund.
No, I'm sure a representative from the Osun State government will come and say this is not.
They will debunk it.
Yeah, this is not government.
We can actually call them in one of the programs
and
get their reaction on this. Spending a whopping 2 billion naira on meals, but you have to also understand that it's not just meals, well as welfare and the running of office. But of course, the concern here is given the situation of Nigeria now, and even Osun State is a very poor state where they seem not to be a major source of revenue,
internal generated
revenue. So you begin to wonder why a very prudent government will have to expend this much on meals, welfare, and the running of office.
Quite unfortunate, if I must say.
Still
on the Daily Trust, Kano stands still for Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf on arrival from Abuja. And lastly, on the Daily Trust, uproar in Senate over minority leadership seats. And that's on page 10.
One story that strikes my attention here is this: the standstill given to Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf on his arrival from, of course, Abuja. This is what we talk about when a true judgment, when the mandate of the people really counts. You understand? You will say it. The excitement will be there. It's not possible for a court to come and give a verdict that is in line with the yearnings of the people, and people will not troop out to celebrate. You understand me? And this is where a lot of people have continued to cast aspersion on the judiciary, because so many cases being delivered on post-election matters of recent that does not seem to be the will of the people. That appears as though the will of the people is being subverted, and a lot needs to be done on this, and I think this is a clarion call on the judiciary to begin to do what is expected of them with conscience I mean, I don't know if I'm making a lot of sense. Cautions is really needed here because so you don't set Nigeria on a time bomb that is going to explode any moment, because the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man. And so let us not have a different opinion about this. This is one court judgment that we will say kudos to the judiciary.
Absolutely.
Because this indeed shows that it is the yearnings of the people that has come to bear.
All right, moving on now to the Daily Sun. The news making headlines says Ohaneze, Afenifere, Middle Belt Forum press for state police. And then the writer says Tinubu asks Tinubu to devolve police to state, local government levels to fix insecurity. Another writer says it can't work unless constitution is amended. That's from the ACF. It's no longer, it's long overdue. INC says that. And then Huriwa calls for state of emergency on kidnapping. You find out on page 5 and page 6. They've been clamoring for state policing, and I think that is the best way to go. But some people are of the opinion that we are not ripe, we're not ready for state policing. But if you ask me, I will say that is the best way to go, because we know ourselves. At the local level, we know ourselves.
Okay, Shagun, see, I think that they said it is only a madman that will continue to do the same thing the same way and expect to get a different result. The truth of the matter is we have continued to run this police that is being directed from the federal, from the central, and this power needs to be broken because it appears it's not really working for us. Because if it's truly working, we will be talking of the level of insecurity that we have now at hand. Don't forget that with state policing, it means that in the states, it is people who know themselves that will be at the helm of affairs. Because we know ourselves well, other than you as a police officer, the commissioner of police in Lagos, so you wait from the federal to always get directive. And of course, how do we even end the jungle justice and word of view? You understand? Let's have state policing. I mean, this is long overdue. A lot of people have been calling for it, and I think government should have a rethink on this, on policing Nigeria from the central. We need to, break
it down,
the power down, and let's have state policing in such a way that each state will be able to police its affairs well enough. Well, that's my take.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that also, because a decentralized security system will help cut all of the bottlenecks in our policing system, and then it will help give the local government levels, the
level of
freedom, so they can be able to police properly instead of waiting for the call from the IGP all of the time before they are able to implement certain regulations. I agree that we should decentralize the police system.
I just hope that
the government will,
this administration will finally put that to play, because even the Lagos State government has been clamoring for it as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully all of this will be put in place.
I cannot still understand their fears too. The truth of the matter is they don't want a situation whereby the state governors will also have powers over the secrets of the state. But the question is, if the number one citizen of the state, the governor, is in charge of the security of that state, then you now see that this contradicts itself. The security vote money is being given to the governor. So why would he now be waiting from federal to get authority? The short matter is the reason for which this state policing has not been approved is just because of elections. Because during elections, they want the federal might to come to bear in such a way that the states, don't forget that if the states have their power, it means that power of incumbency will also play a very key role, number one. And number two, in selecting who your president is or will be, will now also be dependent on the states. So if the governor has full authority on security in the states, they will ensure that the will of the people is what comes to bear.
So that means if we have to do state policing, then the will of the people will definitely.
To an extent.
Yes, and at the federal level, they don't want to empower the state governors so much, so that they can still be able to have some type of control over the states. And sometimes these things can backfire, because if the state governor has all of the autonomy, you know what they can do. We saw what happened at Imo State.
Well, again, I understand that they say power corrupts absolutely, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But then again, this people, politicians, are also asking for autonomy of local government. Do you understand? See, it's like just bringing it to the grassroots.
Decentralizing the government.
Do you understand? The same way with policing. If you give them there would always be a way you can call them to order.
True.
But this is just to ensure that every state is in charge of its security. This is what we need right now. And this Boko Haram thing will not spread. And look at the situation where we see that the defense minister, who is the former Minister of State for Defense, who was the former governor of Zamfara State. I mean, now just talking about not having state policing, if the commissioner came out to tell us that this man was sponsoring Boko Haram and he now has federal might in addition, so which means that it will be pretty difficult for them to nip in the bud the activities of Boko Haram in that state, because they have a federal might. When we call them from above and say release those people, there's nothing you can do.
Absolutely. And
I think state policing is what's going to put an end to Fulani herdsmen clash and what have you.
Yes.
I mean, that's the way forward, honestly.
I think that's the way forward. Thank you. Moving on page 27, Nigerian elections product of manipulation, cancer destroying democracy. That was said by APC chieftain. And then troops kill 7 bandits, arrest 33, recover arms, ammunition in Plateau, Kaduna raids.
Still about insecurity.
Yeah.
Yes, in a small country as Nigeria, we're not so big. When you talk about the landmass, we're not so big, but yet the insecurity is alarming. It's alarming. So new twist in Plateau as Speaker Deputy resigns. That's a new one. We can find that on page 8. Speaker and Deputy Speaker resigning. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, Deputy Speaker resigning in that's Plateau, right?
Plateau, yeah.
This is a very unique one. This is not normal in our own part of the world.
No, we don't resign.
For somebody to stand up and resign. So, and this for me means we need to also dig deep. We need to extract the reason behind the Deputy Speaker resigning. It is either he's resigning based on threats,
yes.
Because it's not normal. It's not in the nature of Nigerians to just, you are in power, you know what it took you to get there as deputy, and then you just suddenly say you want to resign.
Integrity issues.
Even if corruption plays a role, you will stick your butt there and say you refuse to resign, because that honor and grace you can't afford to, lose it. So if we really look deep, it's either some people are against him, there's a threat to his life, and I'm sure that this is just a drama starting to unfold. We will stick here more, because I believe that there's a lot in that man's mind that it will reveal in no long time.
All right. So finally, insecurity again. Judiciary not helping terror war. Military.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to read that, because we started today's newspaper review with the issue of the judiciary, and here the military is saying that judiciary is not helping terror war, which is actually not far-fetched. You get how they've handled some cases, and just yesterday and 2 days ago, the former president was still calling, out the judicial system of this nation. So many people are calling out the judiciary. I remember the CGS case with the current president. See how the whole world was on our judiciary, beaming their light, and look at the verdict they also gave.
Well, it's quite perturbing, the state of the judiciary, and you should know that there's no way the state will be governed well enough without the potency of the judiciary. So the appeal will still be for them to give rulings, deliver judgments that will not set Nigeria on a time bomb. You know, I've been saying it because the political elite or the political class cannot continue to fail citizens, and the courts, which they're also hoping on, seem also to be frolicking with the politicians. But I understand that there's poverty in the land. I understand that everybody is interested in making his or her own money. But in doing all of this, you have to understand that we don't have two countries. We only have this country, Nigeria. And it will take the input of the executive, legislature, and what was the third now? For judiciary. For the country to be well built in such a way that we will all heave a sigh of relief. And that's just my own appeal, because anything can happen. Imagine this is not this week. It started off yesterday. Activities are going on. I want to let you know that what the nurses are also complaining about is the Jackpot syndrome. Jackpot syndrome, saying that many of the medical practitioners in Nigeria have all run out of the country to London, Canada, and what have you, where they are well paid. Now, the appeal right now is for government to begin to look inward. For them that they are still interested in staying in Nigeria, those that are patriotic, how do you help to raise their salaries? You understand? Because the salary is nothing to write home about. And this is the reason why many of their colleagues have run out of the country. And they say that the work to be done by one person is now being done by 8 persons. And so this is a challenge for us as a nation. I don't know how this government will ensure that they do what is appropriate here in such a way.
I'm
that
sure you are trying to say the work being done by 8 persons is now being done by one person.
You know,
well,
it's very bad.
I believe there was a point in time when the Lagos state government had to travel to the UK, the US, Canada, and then brought back our medical practitioners with incentives, telling them, okay, if you come, we'll give you a plot of land in Lekki. And they brought them back, and then they gave them lands, because one of my aunties was part of the people that came back.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes. So
that's a very good
they
one.
gave them land in the Lekki that is now, they gave every single one of them land. You understand? So for that, they came back. I think the federal government can do something like that too. Just pick the guys that you know that these people are very good in this field, and they are Nigerians. Bring them back, give them something, not promising and not fulfilling. Promise, and then on their arrival, hand it over to them. This is yours, this is yours, this is, so that at least we can use that to build our healthcare system. And then when they come, automatically, because they are professionals, they are experts, they will tell you, we need this, this is no longer, and then you will provide everything they need so that our healthcare system can be good. We don't have to travel abroad.
Shagun, the truth is, there are a lot of issues concerning our healthcare system, and it's not entirely the fault of these guys that are relocating. The government has their role to play. Now, there are certain basic infrastructures that some of these medical facilities need, our health system, that are not being provided. They are available in other western part of the world. Now, some of the best paid workers in the world are doctors and nurses. Some of the least paid workers in Nigeria are doctors. You see the contrast. And teachers. You see the contrast. Now they have colleagues, they have friends who are barely relocated 6 months, and their destinies are transformed. The insurance system, so many things are working for them. There's a future. What is the future of the average Nigerian? as a worker, as a military person, as a as a teacher. That's what we're talking about. We're only using the health system as a case study. Yes. It is happening all over. The brain drain in Nigeria is alarming.
You know what? Let me just say thank you to you, Solomon, because it's like you just took that out of my mouth when we were deliberating and concentrating on the medical profession. Because this thing is in every profession in Nigeria.
Yes.
And this brings us back to the kind of value being placed on citizens in Nigeria. Have always said it on this program, it is very bad that as a citizen of Nigeria, you stand nothing to gain.
Basically not.
Even the health care that they told you that is free, you need to get there. You see the way the nurses today, for the first time I had a challenge, I needed to take my daughter to the hospital. And from the private hospital, Longin, they transferred her to what's called the general hospital at Ilekpo. And we had no choice but to move there. That was when I saw what Nigerians who visit general hospitals go through. At a point, I got mad with the doctor that was going to attend to us. In having to,
bleed?
What's it called when you try to inject drip, she was doing it again and again, and it was fading. Do you understand?
She was trying to get veins.
The veins. And as a pregnant woman, I was the one holding my daughter for her, and then she just said, "Can't you need to see the way she spoke." I just exploded.
Yes.
I exploded. I told her, "What? You are talking to me this way when we're using they're using taxpayers' money to pay you." So a lot of times, Nigerians, you need to be aware of your rights. I think when it even starts is from our education system. When the government of the day does not really place importance on education, where teachers are not being paid well. I'm somebody who loves to teach, but I tell you what, I will never go into teaching profession. You know why? Because many of them are not well paid, except for those in private school. So when are we going? When is the trajectory going to change in Nigeria? What is the future of Nigeria? And not just Nigeria, what's the future of many other sectors of the country? I mean, the future looks bleak. I don't know if you share a different opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And then when you look at those nurses at the hospitals, those are not the registered nurses. Those are auxiliary nurses, right? Those people, they're auxiliary nurses.
That's in the general hospital?
Yeah. So I have a feeling that the hospital management board should have an orientation program, trainings where they give these people, because a well-trained nurse, a certified nurse, right, will not address you in such a manner.
Shego, I disagree with you.
Exactly. I disagree, honestly.
But I've seen them do it.
You know why? It is about the incentive. Somebody was talking about introducing incentive and the salary. What is the take home? Do you know how many people they have to attend to on daily basis? It's just that when they do it to you, you don't like it because you know your rights. You understand. But the truth of the matter is, they say to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
You won't be giving them salaries that are nothing to write home about, and you expect them to give 100% loyalty. They will not give 100%.
I was just going to talk about the minimum wage.
Not to even talk
30K.
about people. And we are also here talking about NLC, TUC going on strike because the
workers
minimum wage has not even been paid by some governors. So what's the way forward? Anyways, Shego, I think this is where we will wrap it up on this paper review this morning. Never mind the tension is high this morning. It's just because of the interest in seeing Nigeria becoming that country of our dream. I mean, let's begin to do things as is done in other climes, so that we too can beat our chest and say, yes, I'm indeed proud of being a Nigerian. Also, viewers, we'll take a short break here, and when we return, it will be time for us to look at our ash and our tax, trends and tags. I'll beg your pardon. So join us again. Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How students of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation together with talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Mọ́rúnsọ́lá ni orúkọ ti tèmi Funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kí tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́.
Well, it's so glad to have you back. You're still watching You Fortified Morning Show. Yes, it's about that exciting period where we will be looking at our trends and hashtags. So with Shegun, what's going on?
A lot has been going on, a lot has been happening, and then well, the first one is rather on a sad note, but well, to some people they were happy. That's the Posh Mama's death. I mean, when you lose someone that's a citizen of the country, she's hail from one family, automatically they will be mourning her, and then she's a Nigerian. She flew to Nigeria and then did everything. Now she was hospitalized and then she needed
Financial assistance.
Yeah, because blood transfusion, and then which leads to financial assistance because the funds with her.
So the question here, Shegun, let me ask. As much as yes, my heart goes out to Posh Mama and the families. We pray that God grants them the fortitude to bear the irreplaceable loss. However, I want to ask, because you said that I guess she needed a financial assistance, because if she is indeed an advocate of the APC, I'm interested in knowing what APC as a political party did. I hope they supported her before she died.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to come in here.
We are not talking. Did they?
There's no report of APC supporting her, because she was she posted pictures on her X handle and complaining of the financial drain that she was currently going through, and it was quite unfortunate. But a lot of Nigerians have mixed reactions when it comes to her death. The likes of David Hindoe and all of that, they are actually not mourning her, because this is being served as a deterrent to other people who are not empathetic with the plight of Nigerians, and it's all about the political will and all of that. It's quite unfortunate, because she was actually a very vile person, and some people have said that she's actually a nice person, in real life, but on social media, because of her political affiliation, she was actually vile. Everything that comes in form of some type
Attack
of
to the APC.
criticism, she will come out and spill fire on you.
You know, that's the problem basically, because now if we had a system that works, she wouldn't have to go through that.
That's it. That's what I was saying, that she's a victim of the system.
Of the system.
The same system that she's
being governed
exactly
by the All Progressives Congress APC. But you know what? This is this actually drives home a message.
Yes.
And the message is for us not to be foolishly loyal. I know why I'm coming from this background. You see, sometimes, a lot of times, you think it is love when you are being foolishly loyal. When you're being foolishly loyal, the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, it will be to your detriment.
True.
And now she is standing here. We're hearing that beyond what she portrayed on social media, she's a very nice person. But because she was just being unnecessarily loyal now, being on air, always fighting at all APC and all of that, now the need arises for her to be supported. But we can't even hear that this party did anything. And this is just an average story of what is happening in this country, Nigeria. You see all of these political women drumming every time it's election, they're dancing and everything. Think about your health. This is my appeal this morning. Endeavor to ensure you take care of yourself, because when the problem or the worst is going to happen,
when push comes to shove,
exactly, you won't see them. You might be the only one.
Okay.
So you don't sing.
All right, let's move
sympathize with her.
to this one is a very interesting one. So November 18th, all right, 2023 was officially proclaimed Davido's Day in Atlanta.
Oh, wow, really? Oh,
So
that's a big one.
I mean, for all of us. So for all of them at 30BG, congratulations. And for us as Nigerians,
of course, congratulations.
It's
this is what we're talking about, being a good ambassador of the nation Nigeria. I mean, it's not all bad stories. We still have good stories. At least this will put a smile on our faces. This will also go a long way to encourage you, that Nigerian that still believes something good can come out of you. I mean, sometimes it's not just about the entity Nigeria. As an individual, you can also bring your own your skills to bear, and which will then reflect positively on the nation Nigeria. So
congratulations to Davido. Congratulations to Nigeria. We've always talked about this, Shegun. We need to celebrate our own. You can see it was being celebrated in Atlanta. What are Nigerians doing? We don't even celebrate our dead legends. The ones that are alive, we do not celebrate them, and the whites are helping us do that.
I think I remember one of them that sang his song,
celebrate me while I'm alive. That's Pato ranking.
That.
That's what we're talking about. So kudos to those in Atlanta. Let's learn to celebrate our own.
Hopefully we will learn. Okay, so finally, before we go, now this person says, my landlord wants to evict me because I have 3 cars.
What?
3 cars parked where?
3 cars in the compound.
Okay. 3 cars, please. How many cars does the landlord? Because no. You know what? I always tell people that when you want to tell a story, remember to tell it from the beginning. You understand? And most likely, this individual must have parked into the house with no car. And then suddenly you bought the number 1 car, the number 2, and number 3, and you expect the landlord not to be unhappy. And this is Nigeria, for God's sake, where your money must rub on your next neighbor, and if it doesn't rub on your next neighbor, you are in for a battle. That's the truth. Let's say the way it is.
You're right. And in addition to that, I think what, like you said, this may not be the complete story. Maybe what would have happened was that the landlord would have felt, this guy is doing so well. There's a raise. I'm not paying. So that may be the angle he's coming from.
Or, so there was a story at some point. A lady, she renovated the apartment, like all the tiles, broke it, put it out, another set marbles. So she used marbles for everywhere. The POP, everywhere was beautiful, nice. And then the landlord came to visit, like, what's happening? They did, all right, no problem. Oh, well done. And then she finished everywhere, painted. Then the landlord gave her quick notice.
No, but that's wrong. That's witchcraft. Honestly,
that's unfair.
Let's say the way it is. That is witchcraft.
That's unfair.
Because you see, a lot of individuals believe that if you live in a rented apartment, you should begin to also envisage you having your own house.
True.
And so you should do to that house
what you would like
want
to be
other
done to
people
yours.
do to your own. Yeah. And so I'm against such a person. Such landlord is just practicing witchcraft. It's not when you start flying and turn to birds like we see in Benin. I don't know how true. I'm asking you, Solomon.
I'm not.
I heard human beings fly at daylight.
Well, that's not true. But what I'm going to say here is that that's quite wicked, unfair, from the landlord. I remember an apartment I moved into somewhere in Ikeja some years ago. That apartment was a write-off. Revamp the apartment, and when the landlady came in and saw what I did, she gave me a gift, cash gift. She couldn't believe that someone could revamp this place like this. So that's what we're talking about, not that witchcraft type of story that you just did.
Alright, our viewers, right about now, this is all we'll take on trends and hashtags. So I will take a short break now, and it will be our discussion segment where we will be looking at a DSS flouting court orders, the implication of this, and how strong the judiciary remains in the governance of Nigeria. So join us again.
To 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make yourself chook your mouth, make we build our country. Every time we go talk things bad, come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eyes see and make you hear and make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen with there and my name now Mr. Peace. That MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
Reach to the sky, ladies and gentlemen! Demand attitude. Demand excitement. Demand action.
You're still watching U45 Morning Show, and welcome back from that break. Yes, it is a serious segment discussion set as we hold on to these very individuals. We saw that